Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CTC Library Orientation from Gutman Library. Your first step is to navigate to the Gutman Library homepage. From the jefferson.edu homepage, go under East Falls Campus on the top bar, and then click on Library. This will take you to the Paul J. Gutman Library homepage. There's lots of information here. We will have our hours posted at any given time. If you plan to visit the library, please check here just in case hours have changed. There's also a chat with the librarian function whenever you have questions. While you can use the general library search, for grad programs we recommend navigating to the research guide for the program and using the specialized databases. To get there for this program, we're going to go under Research Guides here under Key Services, and then we're going to scroll down alphabetically to Trauma Counseling. There are a lot of resources here, and I will touch base on several of them. One of the first is the shortcut here to the DSM-5. So whenever you want to refer to that resource online, you can go to the full text search for the DSM-5 here. Under the recommended databases, there are several resources that you might want to use to look for peer-reviewed journals, which is most often what you'll need for your projects. Before we jump into the databases, I like to touch on some tips for keyword searching. It's best if you try to use more than one keyword so you don't return as many results. Mostly, your keywords should be nouns that represent the major concepts of your topic. You can use quotation marks to search phrases, such as here with childhood trauma, which will search for that exact phrase in that order. You can combine terms to narrow your results by using and in between the terms. So PTSD and treatment will get you articles that have both of those terms. You can use or to broaden your search when there are synonyms for a particular term. So in this case, treatment or therapy or intervention. You can also use an asterisk at the end of the root of a word to truncate and look for variations of that particular word. So if you truncate therapy with the asterisk mark as shown here, you will get therapy and therapies and therapeutic, etc. Since trauma is used in a lot of medical descriptions, you may want to add an extra term depending on the database, such as mental health, to eliminate false hits. And don't stop with just one search. Try different combinations to capture your topic that you need. There are several recommended databases here, and I'm not going to show you all of them today, but searching techniques generally apply across databases. So once you get comfortable, you can use the same techniques among different databases. The first one I'm going to show you today is PsycInfo, which is the major database that covers the psychology literature. So we're going to click on that link. If you're off campus, you will need to log in, and this uses your East Falls campus ID. Generally, for students, it will be your last name plus the last four digits of your student number, and then the password is the same as for your campus key. For this database, it's best to search one term at a time because it will link you to the subject headings, which makes the search more accurate. For the sample search today, I'm going to be looking for articles that discuss what trauma-informed approaches are being used with military-related PTSD. So first, I'm going to look for the term trauma-informed. And I'm going to place that in quotation marks as a phrase. This brings up suggested subject headings to match the term. So In this case, I would select check next to trauma-informed care, but then I also want to include trauma-informed as a phrase down at the bottom as just a standard keyword. So I'm going to check both of those and then click continue. And you can see here in the results that we have over 2,300 hits. Now I'm going to search the term PTSD. And this has a very specific subject heading that's already checked. So then I'm going to click continue. And that on its own has over 35,000 hits. And now as a keyword, I'm going to add the concept for military related. So in this case, I want to think of synonyms that might be represented in the articles for that particular topic. So I'm going to search veteran or military or soldier, and I'm going to put the asterisk on soldier to get the plural, and then or combat. So these are all terms that might represent the military related. And I'm going to search that. And that got us almost 58,000 hits. So we want items that combine all these terms. So I'm going to check off all three, and then I'm going to combine with and. And then you can see here in the last one, all that combined gets us down to 23 article results. So now I'm going to click on display results next to the line that I want to view, and it will start bringing up the details of specific articles that have our terms in them. Some of them will be available as full text PDFs, such as this number 2 right here, and some you'll have to check and see if we have full text in the library. So if I were interested in number 1, I would then come over here to the little Jefferson icon and click on that, and then it will search our catalog to see if we have access to that particular article. So it found a match, and it does say that it's available online, and it's available through 2 different sources. So either one of these should work. If I click on one, that takes us to the source, and in this case, you need to log in with your campus key and password to access that source. And then that takes us to where the full text article is available in the database. And you can see up at the top, you can then click View PDF. If I close that article source out, it brings me back to this Ovid page, and then I'll need to back up to get to the results list and continue to look at the results. We will have a lot of the articles, but we may not have all of them. That does not mean that you can't get access to them. So I'm going to scroll down to one that I believe. All right, so number 11, if I click on the Jefferson button, it's going to again search our library holdings. And in this case, we actually don't have the full text journal for that particular article. So what you would want to do if you want this article is click on request item via Gutman Library interlibrary loan. And this is a service that we provide where we can obtain copies of articles for you for free from other libraries throughout the country. That will usually prompt you to log in if you haven't already. In this case, I was already logged in. It also uses your East Falls login. And then it has an article request form that already has the details of the particular article we wanted. And then you would come down to the bottom and click Submit Request. Generally, articles arrive electronically within 3 to 5 business days. And again, it is a free service. So when I close that out, again, it brings us back to this Ovid page. I back up to my results. For any article that you think you're going to use, I would recommend going to the Cite button. And if you click on that, you can get the APA formatted reference for your reference list. So you can copy and paste that into your document. Those are the major features of PsycInfo as a database that I wanted to cover. So I'm going to close that out and come back to the library guide for trauma counseling. And now I want to show you searching in Google Scholar. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It's best if you use Google Scholar from a library link because it will link you to our full text holdings much more easily. I also recommend using the advanced search function of Google Scholar, which is found on the menu icon up here on the upper left. If I click on that, I can select advanced search. And then using the same topic, I'm going to put under all the words trauma informed as a phrase in quotes, and then also searching as a phrase post traumatic stress disorder. And then at least one of these words is like using or in between the terms, but you don't have to actually put or in between them. So the same keyword search that I used before: veteran, military, soldier, combat. You can also, in most databases, limit to a range of years. So it's possible, for example, if we only want the past 5 years or so, we can put a start year of, say, 2016, and that will bring up only articles that have been published since that time. Go ahead and complete that search. And it brings up references to particular articles with our terms. And you'll also see here on the right-hand side that you get access to full text at Gutman Library links. So if I'm interested in, say, the very first one, I can click on full text at Gutman Library. And it brings up this page where it reaches out to um, the sources that we have for the article. So on this particular page, I want to make sure I come down and click on where it says article. And then that takes us to that particular article in the source where it lives. There's also a cite function in Google Scholar. So if I use a particular article, I can use the quotation marks under each one, and it will bring up formatted references, including APA. So again, you can copy and paste that into your document. So I'm going to close out of Google Scholar and go back to the trauma counseling library page. Again, there are other recommended databases here depending on your topic that you might want to try. Some are subject specific. So CINAHL has the nursing and allied health literature. SocIndex covers sociology literature. ERIC covers educational resources. So if you're looking for information related to students, that would be a good place to check. So be sure to try more than one source when you're looking for your articles. Also, across the top are different tabs to other useful tools. So, for example, the Interlibrary Loan tab, I mentioned that service before. This will take you directly to the service where you can log into Iliad, which is the service we use that you would put in requests to get copies of articles or book chapters that you might need. There's also a tab specifically for APA format. The new edition is the 7th edition, and there's updated resources here on that. There's a presentation of what's new in APA. So if you're used to APA 6th, you can look at what changes have occurred. There's also a sample student paper in APA 7th, so you can use that as a template when you're working on your APA formatted papers. There are some samples here of formatted references. And then on the practice tab, there are actually exercises and self-grading quizzes that you can complete on various aspects of using the APA 7 style. Another tab you might find useful is RefWorks 3. RefWorks is what we call a bibliographic manager. It's a software that you can use to store all your references as you complete your research. There's a tutorial on how to use RefWorks at East Falls. I highly recommend viewing that, creating your account, and getting in the habit of storing your resources there. It can help you format your APA bibliographies properly, and it's a place to store your research so that you don't lose it and don't end up spending, another day trying to find the same resources that you may have located already. If you have further questions about the library or need additional help with searching or training, including on interlibrary loan or using RefWorks, you can reach out to the library either through the chat on the library homepage or you can email askalibrarian@jefferson.edu. Thank you.